Have you ever experienced that moment when you walk into a room and everything seems to shift? Not because you're trying to draw attention, but because there's something about your presence that naturally commands it. If you've noticed people getting flustered around you, or if you've heard whispers about being intimidating despite never trying to be, you're in the right place. Today we're going to dive deep into the fascinating world of Sigma females and uncover the subtle yet powerful ways they might be more intimidating than they realize. You know, it's funny how intimidation works. We often think it's all about physical presence or aggressive behavior, but that's rarely the case for Sigma females. Their intimidation factor comes from something far more subtle, an inner strength and authenticity that can't help but shine through. It's like having a superpower you never asked for, one that makes others both drawn to you and slightly nervous in your presence. Let's start with something that might seem counterintuitive: the power of silence. As a Sigma female, you've probably noticed that you're completely comfortable with quiet moments, those pauses in conversation that make others squirm. While everyone else is scrambling to fill the air with words, you're perfectly content letting silence do its work. This isn't just about being quiet, it's about understanding the power of measured responses. When you do speak, your words carry weight because they're thoughtful and purposeful. People lean in when you talk, not because you're loud, but because they know you don't waste words on empty chatter. This quality alone can be incredibly intimidating to those who feel the need to constantly fill space with noise. Now, let's talk about those sky-high standards you maintain. This isn't just about being a perfectionist, it's about having a clear vision of what excellence looks like and refusing to settle for less. Whether you're working on a professional project, building relationships, or pursuing personal goals, you approach everything with an unwavering commitment to quality. The intimidating part: your standards aren't just personal preferences, they become a mirror that reflects others' mediocrity back at them. When someone brings you work that's just okay, your response, even if it's just a raised eyebrow, speaks volumes. You're not trying to make anyone feel inadequate, but your natural drive for excellence can make others uncomfortable with their own complacency. Your independence is another quality that both inspires and intimidates. In a world that often expects women to be collaborative to the point of dependency, your self-reliance stands out like a beacon. You don't wait for permission or consensus to move forward with your plans. Need something done? You figure it out. Want to try something new? You just go for it. This self-sufficiency is like a double-edged sword. It's incredibly empowering for you, but can make others feel somewhat redundant. People might offer help, and while you're genuinely appreciative, they can sense that you don't actually need it. This can be particularly intimidating in professional settings where others might rely on interdependence for job security. Let's delve into your emotional control, because this is where things get really interesting. In a world that often expects women to be emotionally expressive, your composed demeanor can be downright unnerving to some people. You're not cold or unfeeling, far from it. You simply process your emotions privately and show up to handle situations with a clear head. When drama erupts around you, you're the eye of the storm, maintaining your composure while others lose their cool. This level of emotional regulation can be incredibly intimidating to those who are more externally emotional. They might find themselves wondering what it takes to ruffle your feathers or see the real you, not realizing that your composed demeanor is very much the real you. Your communication style deserves special attention because it's often misunderstood. In a culture that often wraps communication in layers of social niceties and subtle hints, your direct approach can feel like a breath of fresh air or a shock to the system, depending on who you're talking to. You don't see the point in dancing around issues or sugar-coating your messages. Your words are precise, clear, and purposeful. While this directness can be refreshing, it can also be intimidating to those who are used to more diplomatic or roundabout ways of communicating. People might find themselves caught off guard by your straightforward questions or direct feedback, even when it's delivered with the best intentions. Then there's your laser-sharp focus, a quality that sets you apart in any environment. When you're working on something, you enter a zone that's almost tangible. Your ability to tune out distractions and stay focused on your goals can be almost scary to others. They might see you as intense or unapproachable when you're in this state. This focus isn't limited to work, it extends to every aspect of your life. While others might drift from one thing to another, you move with purpose and determination. This unwavering focus can make people wonder if they're just another distraction in your path, even when you're simply being efficient with your energy and attention. Your self-sufficiency in social situations is particularly fascinating. You're completely comfortable showing up to events alone, sitting at a cafe by yourself, or spending evenings in your own company. This level of social independence can be unsettling to those who rely on constant social validation. What's more, you don't feel compelled to fill your calendar with social obligations just because that's what's expected. Your selective socializing might make others question their place in your life, even when there's no reason to worry. This comfort with solitude often reflects a deeper self-assurance that others might find intimidating if they haven't yet developed it themselves. Let's talk about your analytical mind, because it's truly a force to be reckoned with. You see patterns where others see chaos, and your ability to break down complex situations into their component parts is remarkable. But here's where it gets interesting. This analytical prowess can make others feel like they're being studied under a microscope. When you start asking questions that dig deeper than the usual surface-level conversation, people might get uncomfortable. Not because you're being nosy, but because your insights often hit closer to home than they're prepared for. Your ability to see through superficial explanations and get to the heart of matters can be intimidating to those who prefer to keep things light and superficial. Your authenticity deserves special mention because it's become increasingly rare in today's world of carefully curated social media personas and professional masks. You don't pretend to be someone you're not, and you don't change your opinions to fit in. This unwavering authenticity can be intimidating to those who are still trying to figure out who they are, or those who have become comfortable wearing social masks. You're not trying to make a statement, you're just being yourself. But in doing so, you inadvertently challenge others to question their own authenticity. The way you value and protect your time is another quality that can intimidate others. Your time management is impeccable, not because you're rigid, but because you understand that time is your most precious resource. You're selective about your commitments and aren't afraid to say no to things that don't align with your goals or values. This can be particularly intimidating to people who are used to others being more flexible with their time, or those who struggle with setting boundaries. Your clear boundaries around time and energy can make others feel less important, even though that's not your intention. Now, here's the truth about being a Sigma female. Your intimidating qualities are often the very same traits that make you exceptional. You're not trying to scare people away or make them feel small. You're simply living life on your own terms with clear boundaries and high standards. If you've recognized yourself in these descriptions, it's important to remember that being intimidating isn't necessarily a negative thing. It often means you're confident, capable, and clear about who you are and what you want. The right people, those who are secure in themselves, won't be intimidated by your strength. Instead, they'll be inspired by it. They'll appreciate your directness, respect your boundaries, and value your authentic self. These are the people worth keeping in your life, the ones who understand that your intensity isn't a flaw, it's your superpower. Remember, if people find you intimidating, it says more about their insecurities than your character. Your role isn't to dim your light to make others more comfortable, it's to continue shining brightly and inspiring others to do the same. Keep being you, in all your intimidating glory. The world needs more people who aren't afraid to stand in their power, even if it makes others a little uncomfortable sometimes. As we wrap up this deep dive into the signs that make a Sigma female more intimidating than she realizes, take a moment to reflect on your own journey. These qualities that might intimidate others are the same qualities that make you uniquely powerful. Embrace them, own them, because at the end of the day, your strength isn't just about you, it's about showing others what's possible when you dare to be authentically yourself. And always remember this: your presence might be intimidating to some, but it's also inspiring to many. Keep walking your path with confidence, knowing that your impact on the world is exactly what it needs to be. The right people will walk beside you, not away from you, appreciating every intimidating, inspiring aspect of who you are.